How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you?
That's difficult to answer.
Could you give me some idea?
I am not completely like other people.
What do you mean by that?
People dislike me because I am not completely like them. I am trying to do with my life something which few people try to do, and this influences my thinking and consequently my action.
What is it you're trying to do with your life?
Play the piano for people.
I'm not clear. How is it that playing the piano for people has eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital?
That's difficult to answer.
this the end? Is this the end? Oh, I'm burning in the stone. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the stone. This is the final genocide. What have we done to the world? What have we done to the world? I'm burning in the stone. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the stone. This is the final
What does
He doesn't.
I don't know. This might be coded, but I'm not sure. What does a Gnostic sex cult have to do with the far left's goal? This guy named Bot is going off
that
about
is
this Gnostic sex cult. What that?
And so we're just not going to answer that question.
Okay,
except
so
for-
that's I figured that. So we're just okay. That's why I figured that. Yeah.
James Lindsay is obsessed with lying to his audience. Well, crazy things can he get them to believe? He does it irresponsibly to pocket all that money from the mills for liberty. The left hates capitalism, but James won't admit it. He refuses to believe queer theory destabilizes normativity, gender binary, and the nuclear family. James blocks the truth, smears people who try to show him, creates an echo chamber for himself to reinforce his fantasy. He used to believe in something, what happened? Mills for liberty. Gnostic sex cult, building his own world. The Gnostic sex cult, unhinged from reality, totally lost in what can we do? But mocking relentlessly. It's not a Gnostic sex cult, James. No, it's not. Stop lying to your audience. No, it's not. It's not Gnostic change. Grip Mary Nardini tells us queer liberation means the annihilation of capitalism. Catch up, James. Whiteness means capitalism. Queer theory hates capitalism. Whiteness means capitalism. Queer theory hates capitalism. Whiteness means capitalism. It's all about capitalism. Everyone knows it's capitalism. The socialists know it's capitalism. Wake up, James. It's capitalism. Whoa. The socialists know it's capitalism. Wake up, James. It's capitalism. It's all about capitalism. Everyone knows it's capitalism. The socialists know it's capitalism. Wake up, James. It's capitalism. It's capitalism. To pocket all that money from the mills for liberty. The left hates capitalism, but James won't admit it. He refuses to believe but James blocks the truth. Fears people who try to show him, creates an echo chamber for himself to reinforce his fantasy. Is to believe in something. What happens for liberty? Gnostic sex cult filling his own world. Gnostic sex cult unhinged from reality. He's totally lost it. What can we do but mock him relentlessly?
We're going to war against James Lindsay. You keep James Lindsay up at night. I got to come and visit you in his head where you live rent-free. I got to come and visit Carlin. Knock, knock. We're inside James Lindsay's brain. We're inside Chris Rufo and James Lindsay's brain where she has taken up a residence there permanently. And she's performing. She's doing shows there. She got a 10-year contract to do her talk show. No, but thank you very much.
He's calling out cults and conspiracies wild, Gnostic sex cults and theories compiled. But one question's raised and it's blocked on the spot. No room for dissent in the world he's got. But the crowd starts to laugh and they're starting to see a whole lot of words that just don't agree. Oh, Emperor James, are you feeling the breeze? Might wanna look down, see what's caught at the knee. He's the Emperor with no clothes, strutting around like nobody knows, shouting loud, thinking he's wise, but he's bearing it all to everyone's eyes. He's the Emperor, yeah, with no disguise, slipped down by his own price. The fat is an intellectual line. Oprah's got mind control, powers divine. He's calling Saint Michael the devil in charge and telling the Catholics they got it too large. Oh, James, don't you know it's a tricky game when you're calling out folks but you're doing the same. You say it's the truth only you understand, but the crowd's got a mirror showing just where you stand. He's the Emperor with no clothes, strutting around like nobody knows, shouting loud, thinking he's wise, but he's bearing it all to everyone's eyes. He's the Emperor, yeah, with no disguise, stripped down by his own pride. Start to fade and the truth comes around. His theories unravel like threads on the ground. The court starts to giggle, the people all cheer, for the Emperor's naked, the truth's finally here. He's the Emperor with no clothes, strutting around like nobody knows, shouting loud, thinking he's wise, but he's yeah, with no disguise, stripped down by his own pride. So here's to the lesson, let's give it a toast to emperors walking in nothing but boast. Join Carlin's cult and open your eyes. She's here to expose James's epic lies.
Well. Here we are on a Sunday. I never stream on Sundays except when I do. And if I'm streaming on a Sunday, it's because either something really funny is happening or something really crazy is happening, or there's just something I want to dispense with before we actually get into the week. And wouldn't you know it, but I woke up today to find James Lindsay trying to get me banned off all social media. I slept in today, man. Can I tell you guys? I slept in until like 1:30 today, and it was awesome. And it was so glorious. And I was covered in all these blankets, and it was just so warm and so cozy. And then I picked up my phone and I logged on, and James Lindsay is obsessively trying to get me banned on the internet. So I just thought, and also in addition to that, James Lindsay is declaring that I'm a Fed, and he's posting all sorts of clips about me, which Reagan assures me are really great clips, and we're going to watch them. And he is haranguing YouTube. James is trying so fucking hard to get me banned on YouTube. I don't know. It's funny because James keeps telling everyone I'm irrelevant, and James's fans keeps telling everyone I'm irrelevant. But here they are talking about me all the fucking time. James talks about me more than he talks about communism. And that is the problem. That is the actual problem, Jimmy. That is the fucking problem. I am a bigger enemy to James Lindsay than communism. And I'm going to prove that. So we are going to be going through James Lindsay's timeline. Just like, and listen, I had to scroll down until last night to find out where he started tweeting at me, but you can see we're just on James Lindsay's timeline, and what we're going to do is we're going to scroll up and we're going to look at all the things that James has posted about me in the last 24 hours or so, just so you can see how obsessed he is. Now, before we get into that, I want to remind people that we do movie night in my supporter Discord on Sundays at 8 p.m. We are watching The Secret of Nim. Is that what it is? The Secret of Nim. Jennifer picked it out. I don't know anything about this movie. Jennifer says I'm going to like it. But Jennifer generally picks out good movies. She's the one that runs the Sunday movie night in my Discord. And so we're going to be watching The Secret of Nim at 8 p.m. tonight. And then Mac B does movie nights on Mondays in the Discord. How you get access to the Discord is you go over to my Substack, which is Carlin, KARLYN.substack.com. And in a little while, you're going to want to sign up for free email updates. Because after this stream, but before movie night, I'm going to be sending out a weekly newsletter that looks like this. It will not be this weekly newsletter. I haven't written the newsletter yet, but I will be sending out a newsletter a little later on today after we do the stream with the link to get into the supporter Discord. And what you do is you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the newsletter, and underneath this red box, you find a link to the supporter Discord. You find a link to the Monday community Zoom call. You find a link to your 10% off discount code in the Unwoke Art Store that you can use perpetually on whatever you want as a thank you for supporting my work, and you get a full newsletter of all the content I've created all week. Like I said, I haven't sent out this week's newsletter yet because I have to do it after the stream, but I will be sending that out. And if you want to come join us for movie night, head over there, sign up, $8 a month, $80 a year. I am 100% grassroots funded by you guys. Can't do it without you. I released a lot of great content this week. There's a lot going on, and so there's a lot of stuff to catch up on in case you missed it. I also want to let you know that I just barely finished launching the amazing Valentine's Day special design in the Unwoke Art store. That is unwokeart.com. The Valentine's Day design is a limited edition design featuring Trump saying I love you and pointing at the camera. We'll look into it a little bit more. You can get 25% off all of this merch until next Sunday at 11:59 p.m. So you can get a little bit of a special for a week. And I did put it on t-shirts, but more importantly, I put it on greeting cards. I put it on wrapping paper. I put it on candles. We haven't had many candles in the store before. I put it on mugs. I put it on this little sippy cup thing. I even put it on stuffed animals. And you can pop in here and see the greeting card that you can get featuring the Donald Trump I love you design. I think this design is fun. It has a blank inside so you can write whatever you want. So either you can see the card is just a blank inside. But I'm sorry, I think this is a cool design. I had a ton of fun making this. And, listen, I have a love-hate relationship with Trump. I think many of us have a love-hate relationship with Trump, but there are moments where I do really appreciate him. And you know what? Listen, if there's anything I've learned about selling Trump merch for the last couple of years, when your loved one sees this design, their eyes will light up. They will bust out a smile. They will love it. People tell me that when they get the wrapping paper, their loved ones take it off extra carefully because they want to save the wrapping paper. So the wrapping paper is back. We've got some candles. Actually, the candles are really cool. The candles come in 2 different sizes, and you can pick out whatever scent you want. And they also come in 2 different colors. So they have this clear one, and then they have, you gotta scroll down apparently forever to find it. It also can come in this darker color if you want that, but the candles are cool, and I gotta say, I love this mug. I think this mug is cool. I haven't done the purple one before, but I think it looks great, and I think all the merch is cool, and your loved ones are gonna love it, and it's gonna make them smile, and that, of course, is the point of giving someone a present, especially on a manufactured holiday like Valentine's Day, which isn't really a real thing, but listen, if you are going to make your loved one smile, you might as well make your loved one smile when you give them a gift, and I promise you, if they love Trump, they will absolutely smile when you give them this gift. They're going to be very excited about it. So again, all those designs are available 25% off in the Unwoke Art store, and the limited edition is only going to be around for a couple of weeks. And so if you want to get it now, because once it leaves, it might not ever come back. I did not bring back last year's Valentine's Day design. I made a new one instead. So this might be the only chance you have to get it. I think it's a great design, and so you can pick it up in the store right now. And so with that, let's get into James Lindsay's latest hissy fit, shall we? So it started last night, and we all know Poetry Painter. Poetry Painter is the 500-pound human whale of a shut-in that has been obsessed with me for 4 years. If you go to Poetry Painter's Twitter timeline, which I don't actually recommend interacting with this person, but if you do, like, you'll see that her entire Twitter feed is basically dedicated to me. She is a 500-pound shut-in. We know exactly what she looks like. We know exactly who she is because she had all of her information out publicly on the internet at one point, and she was obsessed with me, so I wanted to find out who she was. So this is just an old lady that, like, can't quit me for some reason, and she is now James Lindsay's best friend, and she focuses her psychotic obsession on me into feeding James Lindsay information about me that James doesn't bother to fact check. And so he ends up taking a lot of her stuff. So that's why you are seeing her on his timeline all the time now. Which song? There were a couple songs playing. So the first song that was playing was Godspeak. That's by Holy Vacant. You can find that on Spotify. The second song that was playing, What Have We Done to This World? That's the song is called Burning in Dystopia. Thanks for it is a great song. I love that song. Anyway, so last night, this bitch basically tweeted something where she was like, so this character here is a woman that hates me because I refuse to help her raise money for her movie because I don't actually like her very much and I think she's an inauthentic grifter. And so after I refused to help her raise money for her movie, she started just being psychotic about me on the internet. So she was responding to a tweet last night about me, and she said, the question I have is, does she really believe anything she's posting, or is she just picking an angle that will give her a distinct niche? I retweeted her and said, I believe everything I post, you stupid bitch. And then Jill here, the 500-pound human whale, Jill copied that with a tweet I sent about Nick Fuentes back in 2021 when Nick and I didn't like each other. And she said, not Carlin doing Socialism Saturday while obsessively looking at my timeline. You know, so what happened last night is James Lindsay's 500-pound attack dog was basically obsessively watching Socialism Saturday to try to trip me up or to get me to say something that she could clip out of context or any of that. That didn't happen. So her chief complaint about Socialism Saturday was that I scrolled through her timeline on the 4 hours that we were analyzing socialism. Ooh, okay. But James retweeted that back to his audience because he's obsessed. And then James thinks they've really got me. Oh my God, Carlin and Nick used to not like each other. Oh wow, I know that's shocking to anyone that me and Nick Fuentes didn't like each other back in 2021. And then things change. Things change. And so James thought he got one over on me. He was like, oh my God, Carlin's doing something that I can twist out of context. Oh my. That was last night. We're scrolling up in his timeline. James, of course, tweets obsessively all day, every day because he is obsessed. James is apparently hating Dave Smith now. He's hated Dave Smith for a while, but he's ragging on Dave Smith. Also, James and James is also hating on Tucker Carlson. James is calling Tucker Carlson the woke right. And actually, did you guys see this clip? Let me set up the sound. Let me play you the sound in this clip if you didn't see it. Okay, let's play the Tucker clip real quick.
So I have to say, it takes a lot of balls for someone who has no interest in the United States to accuse someone whose whole orientation is helping the United States of being anti-American. But I've noticed this a lot. Like if you raise the question, like, what are we getting out of this? You know, the endless war cycle, we're getting bankruptcy, obviously, but like, is this good for us? They'll accuse you, you know, the Konstantin Kizin, also not an American, will accuse that wing, will accuse you of being somehow woke. And you're like left wing for asking these questions. Have you noticed this?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that you raise some of these figures. Like we go into this all night.
I'd like to.
They're hoping.
There's no more repulsive group in American life.
True.
Than the people who continue to push death.
True.
And bankruptcy on the United States.
True.
I think that's fair.
Can't recover from death.
No, you can't. So I have to say, it takes a lot of balls for someone.
I gotta say, I saw that clip the other day and I was like, holy shit, Tucker Carlson is calling out Konstantin Kizin by name and saying these are a disgusting, deplorable group of people. Yes, Tucker, they are. They really are. The classical liberals are a ridiculous group of people that no one should listen to. That is exactly correct. So James retweeted that and he was attacking Tucker Carlson. And then Dave Smith, apparently he got into a fight with him. We're not going to spend much time on that. Scrolling up on James's timeline. Let's see. He just tweets a lot, guys. I just scrolled down to the point where he started tweeting about me last night. Let's see. James is tweeting about himself. Oh, here we go. Poetry Painter again tweeting about me. They're complaining that I said that James uses your fat as an attack line. Okay, so that's another example of James talking about me, but we're not even getting to the good stuff yet. Scrolling up, James talking about himself. James apparently thinks, oh, by the way, James apparently thinks that everyone on the so-called woke right hates classical music. I wonder how James would reconcile that with the fact that, like, I literally almost went to a conservatory for the clarinet when I was younger. It was a long time ago, but I did actually used to be really good at it. Anyway, but I don't hate classical music at all. Most people actually don't, but James says that it is the woke right that hates classical music and is trying to cancel classical music now for some reason. Oh, here we go. Okay. Here's where it starts to get good. Everyone paying attention? The newest line that James Lindsay and his audience are trying to use on me is Carlin is a Fed because she didn't get interviewed for January 6th. Except that, and this all started, okay, hang on, I have to go into Psycho Frank's feed now. Ugh. I hate this, but I have to go down into Psycho Frank's feed. I'm sorry in advance. I'm sorry. Here is the tweet. Actually, did I actually have to do that? I didn't actually have to do that. I could have just gone, okay. All right, hang on, let me go back. I messed up. My B. So, Frank McCormick is one of James Lindsay's attack dogs. Frank McCormick recently got off hardcore psychiatric medication. I'm not making that up. He tweeted about it. So you can take that for what it's worth. But this is one of the people that James uses to attack me because it's not all there. So the new line that these people are taking is Carlin was never interviewed by the FBI for January 6th, even though she was obviously at January 6th. That's a picture of me at January 6th. So he tweeted last night, he was like, when I called her Carlin to tell her Brandon got locked up, there was no reaction or emotion in her voice. That's actually not true at all, but okay. That's probably Mike Harlow making shit up, but that's just not true. Frank says, why did the feds not once speak to Carlin Borisenko, despite her many January 6 pictures and videos shared with her 100,000 plus audience, expose the rats, President Trump? I was interviewed by the FBI for January 6. I had to spend thousands of dollars on a lawyer being interviewed by the FBI for January 6. The reason I was not prosecuted for January 6 is because I didn't go in the building. They actually used the photos and videos on my phone as evidence that I didn't go in the building because there were no photos or videos inside the building, and I didn't delete nothing, and they could have figured it out if I had. And so that's the beginning and the end of it. I also got audited for January 6th, by the way. I got audited for an entire year leading up to January 6th, and I got audited for an entire year after January 6th. So just because I didn't go through some false prosecution because, and I know this, they were scouring the videos. There were people online around January 6th that were scouring the videos inside the Capitol looking for me, but I never went inside the Capitol, so they couldn't find me on the videos. And so they basically audited me to fuck with me that way. So January 6th cost me thousands of dollars in lawyer's fees and a metric F ton of my time dealing with that audit. By the way, I won. I beat them, and they can go fuck themselves because I keep receipts for everything, okay? You guys know that. So I think it's a little funny that all of a sudden, 4 years later, 4 years after my FBI interview, Frank McCormick is tweeting, the feds didn't once speak to Carlin. There's literally, and this is what I said, I said, you moron, there is literally a video on my YouTube channel of me talking about talking to the feds. But I titled the video, I was just questioned by the FBI for making sarcastic tweets. Which the sarcastic tweets were made from the Capitol lawn. That's why they questioned me. I tweeted from the Capitol lawn, it's not every day you storm the Capitol or some such shit. And it was actually before I even knew what was going on. You can still find the tweet on my timeline today. Anyway, Frank, of course, because he's not very smart, and Frank is a teacher, by the way. This is a teacher. This is how a teacher is behaving. Frank says, nice try. You claimed you were questioned by the FBI for sarcastic tweets, not for your involvement in the January 6th protests. If Frank had bothered to actually watch the video that's publicly available on my YouTube channel, Frank would have known that I was questioned because I tweeted from the Capitol fucking lawn. You have been very quiet about your actual involvement there. How have I been very quiet? I streamed the night of January 6th. You can, I replay, except I didn't do it this year because I forgot, but every year after January 6th, I literally replayed the video that I streamed the night of January 6th. I posted all about it on my fucking timeline. This isn't even theoretical. All you have to do is a basic search on my fucking YouTube channel and you find the stream from January 6th that I did from my hotel after the fucking whatever it was, after the insurrection. You've been very quiet about your actual involvement there in any related law enforcement investigations while some of your friends went to jail. Well, Brandon spent about a day and a half in jail, and Brandon Strzok can go fuck himself. And do you want to know why Brandon Strzok can go fuck himself? Because Brandon Strzok, more than anyone else, understands what it's like to plead guilty to a crime he didn't commit because he was forced by the government to do so. And Brandon Strzok allowed his best friend, Mike Harlow, to dox my friend who went to prison and drag him through the mud and use him to smear me for years and years and years and years and years. And Brandon Strzok didn't give a fuck. So I don't really care if Brandon did spend a day and a half in prison. I hope Brandon suffered, because Brandon's day and a half in prison is nothing compared to the 8.5 years that my friend spent in prison for a crime that he didn't commit, which Brandon Strzok allowed his best friend to use to drag him all over the internet after he'd already suffered enough. So wah, too bad, so sad, Frank. You don't even know how to do basic fucking research, you unhinged moron. But James retweeted it, and this is where James is now trying to plant the story that I'm a Fed. This is their new narrative that they've thought up. I am a Fed, guys. James says, this might explain why she's seemingly immune to repercussions for her many flagrant TOS violations. If you want to interact with her, that's your business, but be careful, homies. Yeah, James, so what's going on is James can't get me banned off of YouTube and Twitter. And so James is trying to tell everyone, because he can't get me banned off of YouTube and Twitter, that the reason he can't get me banned is I am a Fed and I am under some sort of protection where I can't get banned off of Twitter. Interesting. Thank you, Judy. Appreciate the super chat. Let's keep scrolling. Scrolling up, so we're looking at these in order that James sent them. James complaining. James not doing anything productive. Oh, here it is. Oh, check it out. This is what I wanted to watch. Then, and I haven't watched these videos yet. I don't know what clips he posted, so we're going to experience this all together, okay? Reagan has watched these clips. I have not watched these clips. Then, James decided to tweet a thread of clips that he has of me. And apparently these clips actually are awesome, and so James is posting my W's yet again because he just can't help himself. James Lindsay can't even read your job description. He is too lazy. I know, this is fucking crazy, right? So let's see. What did James have to say? I haven't even really looked at this yet. For years, I simply ignored her completely. But she mined everything I did for secret hints that I must be listening to her or stealing her work, which is completely asinine, and then vowed to wage war on me in her weird self-inflicted fury. I thought that said furry for a second. I was like, no, fury, TOS be damned. But nothing happened. Okay, let's see. What did I say here? Let's see. Start doing this for real. We kind of fucked around with it the first time. I am serious. Oh, hang on. Press 1 in the chat if you heard me, if you have been listening to me say that, literally that exact. Isn't it convenient? Isn't it convenient that they seem to have cut off the clip where it's showing James steal my work? Isn't that convenient? Okay, we'll put that aside for right now, Jimmy. Line for years. I've been saying that line since 2020. Yeah. Yep. James followed me that whole time too, just so people know. He absolutely followed me. Yep. And he didn't just ignore me for years. Yep. I've been saying that for years. For literally years. I didn't get that from James. James got that from me. I wonder, does anyone remember what that one was? I don't remember. Oh my fucking God. Did I replay it? This asshole. So everyone in my chat is saying that James is stealing from me. That came from me. Yeah, James's lesson 1 in how to speak socialist. Gnosticism. An introduction. Oh my fucking God. I hate everything. I hate everyone and everything. Thank God I have alcohol. Yeah, true. No, it wasn't
My
the
personal
dictionary
theory
line. It
is
was
that
something
James
else.
knows how fucked we are and is currently sabotaging the right in order to get out of serving time in the gulag. That
True.
might be.
True.
That might be. Carlin is a much better teacher and communicator than James.
True.
He's pathetic. Hey, I agree with that.
True.
Yup.
What does James think this is proving?
Thanks, Sam, for that super chat. I appreciate it. Okay, how many people are in with me for the war against James? Like, for real. For real, for real. Can I get some commitments? How many people are ready? We're gonna make a whole Discord channel out of this. Like, we need to start doing
We never
this
actually
for
did
real.
that,
We
by the
kind
way.
of fucked around with it the first time. I am serious about, like, I can't take this shit. I can't take it. How many people are in with me for the war against James? Nope. No. I was the only one saying that in 2020 when I started saying it. I was the only one talking about the corruption of the teaching pool. Back when I first started saying it.
That's definitely true. James 100% got that from me. 100%.
Yep, the only things he's gotten right, he's taken from me.
Yeah. And now James is pissed off that we figured it out by watching his talks and
You know what?
realizing
If
what he's
James were
stealing.
crediting my work, if James was acknowledging that he was openly plagiarizing me, I wouldn't be as angry. I wouldn't be as angry. But the fact is that he's not doing that. Not only is he not acknowledging that he is stealing my shit,
True.
almost line for fucking line.
True.
He's also blatantly misinforming people about all the shit that he's not stealing from me.
True.
And anyone that has listened to my work for years knows exactly where this is coming from, Jimmy. I stopped listening to you years ago.
True. How does
And
James
for
think
anyone
this
who
proves
says,
anything to him?
why are you infighting? Why aren't you working together? James and I are not on the same team.
True.
I am on team solve the fucking problem. James is on team grift for fucking money.
True. This is the best clip.
If James was on the team of solving the fucking problem, James would have not, first of all, not stolen my shit or given me credit for it, and James and I would have been working together a long fucking time ago. As I said in the video at the beginning, I tried to work with him for years. Not only does he refuse to engage in any fucking productive conversation,
True.
he smears me, he defames me, he smears my community, he tells everyone to block us, he tells everyone to not listen to us, he struggle sessioned not the B to remove my fucking credit.
True.
He works with people who watch my content just to clip it so he can fucking steal it.
True.
Well, Kylan, aren't you glad your ideas are getting out there? Do you understand that I fund all this through grassroots support and that this will cease to exist if people don't know that it comes from me?
Yep. True. Which James wants. James wants me to go away and shut up.
And when he is covering the correct ideas with a giant fucking mound of bullshit, no, I'm not happy. No. Because he is still misinforming millions of fucking people so he can cash those Moms for Liberty checks and he can cash those Turning Point USA checks.
Why is James posting these clips? This is amazing.
Ugh. We're not going to forget about this, James.
No, and we didn't, did we?
Now you done pissed us off.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. That was an amazing clip. Now, I really would have liked them to leave in the part where James articulated the line he stole from me. And of course, they didn't do that for a reason, right? But the rest of that clip was fucking amazing. Me informing people of all the bullshit James has pulled. Me saying over and over again that James is lying to his audience. I mean, me? That's like, why is James posting a clip of me saying that? Does he think that his audience is just so enamored with him that, like, They are gonna, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's crazy. That is a great clip, though. W clip me. Okay, James continued. She even tries to extend her war against James Lindsay to organizations I work with, which obviously includes trying to destroy my relationships with groups I work with lies and smears. I don't know if this is a TOS violation, but it's insane, and it needs to stop. James, me playing your public speeches and debunking your public speeches. You're a public person, bro. You're a public person, but let's see what I actually did.
I want to start direct outreach to members in Moms for Liberty. I'm going to start hosting. Here's one of the things that we're going to do in our war against James Lindsay. This is not just going to be about destroying James until he shuts the fuck up or starts behaving like an adult. We're actually going to be productive about this. I'm going to start running How to Speak Socialist classes again. I'm gonna start to do like that sort of stuff again to actually show people what's going on. I'm working on the re-education series. I'm gonna publish a new ebook with that.
True, I'm still working on that.
One of the things I want to do is I want to utilize you guys in our war against James Lindsay to start doing outreach to Moms for Liberty chapters, to Moms for Liberty members, to get this information into their hands. If James doesn't want to give it to them, we'll fucking do it. We will do it. That's got to be part of the outreach strategy, guys. This cannot just be about flaming James until he fucking relents and bends the knee. We've got to actually start helping, like making sure we're getting in front of parents that want this information, because they do want this information. And I'm not talking about the national organization. I could give a flying fuck what Tiffany Justice thinks about any of this. We can go directly to the chapters. We can go directly to the members. We can find them on Facebook. We can find them via Google searches. We can find them on Twitter. I'm going to need people's help in this. We're going to do direct outreach to the people that James is lying to, and then they can decide who they want to listen to. But we're going to make sure that they know the resources are there.
That clip is about reaching out to people who are interested in fighting back against communists and showing them clips from leftist tradings. James is flat out saying that he doesn't want normal people to have access to clips from leftist trainings to see what they're doing. That's what the How to Speak Socialist presentation is. James, I know you're a narcissist and you think the whole world is about you. By the way, I'm pretty convinced by now that James is actually he has a narcissistic personality disorder. I don't say that as an own or anything. I've just been thinking about this a lot. James has all the characteristics of having narcissistic personality disorder. Like, he thinks the entire world revolves around him. He rewrites history. He engages in smear campaigns. He has a whole cadre of people that are out doing his dirty work for him. He gets in fights with everyone who disagrees with him. He's not intellectually capable of defending his own work. But James, I know you think the whole world revolves around you, but the How to Speak Socialist presentation has nothing to fucking do with you. It has nothing to do with you at all. What we were talking about in that clip was reaching out to people to say, hey, do you want to see these clips from the left? Because we can show you stuff from the left. Here's information about the left. And James is trying to cancel that. And James says that's against TOS. Jimmy, you're such a fucking idiot, bro. Do basic research. Yeah, exactly. Maybe we'll just send James's clip to Moms for Liberty. Okay, moving on. What did he say here? Oh, this is where we caught James stealing my work. She attempts to justify this blatant cluster B psychopathy by referencing this clip of me making a self-effacing joke in a talk with North Dakota as she watches everything I do for signs that I support her psychopathy. Well, we don't watch everything you do, James. We just watch the things that are going to be entertaining. And you're a public fucking person, motherfucker! You are a public fucking person that's out there lying to people about something that I'm actually trying to teach them. Yes, we're going to watch what lies you tell the public, when it's available to us publicly. If you want to post videos of yourself lying on the internet, James, that I can use to debunk, to teach people what's actually going on, will we do it? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to do it. Because public is public, James. And just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's a violation of terms of service. Where I claimed I steal things all the time and am worse than Claudine Gay. James did say he steals things all the time and he's worse than Claudine Gay. He said it explicitly. What I was saying is look, okay, so you know, hang on, let's just point this out. James wrote 5 paragraphs justifying why there's a clip of him saying, I steal things all the time, I'm worse than Claudine Gay. Isn't that interesting? Isn't it interesting that James is so bent out of shape on this clip? Isn't that interesting? That he's so bent out of shape, that we caught the secretly recorded speech that he gave where he said something off the cuff that came back to bite him in the fucking ass. What I was saying is that I use phrasing I see on X or elsewhere that works and often don't know or remember. Oh, James is, yo, James. You're admitting that you're stealing other people's shit, bro. This tweet is literally admitting holy shit. What I was saying is that I use phrasing I see on X or elsewhere that works and often don't know or remember who gets credit. James, you just admitted that you steal other people's shit. If you were in academia, James, and you heard a line somewhere, but you didn't bother to remember who actually said the line, and you put the line in your paper, and you didn't cite a source, you would be plagiarizing. That is what plagiarism is, James. That's what it is. You take something that you didn't create, you pawn it off as your own, and then you don't give credit to the person that actually came up with it. That is literally fucking plagiarism, James. If we had a paper where you wrote things, but you just didn't remember where you got them from, and you didn't cite them as sources, we would be able to say you were a fucking plagiarist. He's scamming people. He steals other people's work and presents it as his own. This is what he did with all the Gnosticism stuff. The Gnosticism stuff is not something James came up with. The Gnosticism stuff is Eric Voegelin. He stole Eric Voegelin's stuff and he presented it as his own. And that's not the only person James has stolen from. I'm not the only person James has stolen from. I have people in my inbox that have been sending me things, Carl, and James cribbed this, James cribbed this, James cribbed this, James cribbed this. He doesn't come up with his stuff on his own. He just reads obscure stuff that he doesn't think anyone's ever going to find, and then he presents it as his own. That's fucking plagiarism. I do not actually plagiarize. Yes, you do. But I do make jokes about culturally relevant things at the times they're happening. She insists I stole things from her like communists use your vocabulary but don't share your dictionary. But that was an old saying that was, to my knowledge, first used by evangelical Christians talking about the LDS. Well, we don't talk about the LDS, James. It's not like she made it up. You're actually right. James is actually right. I didn't make that line up. I got that line from someone else. I got that line from someone else who doesn't want to be a public person. I asked him when he said it to me, can I use that line because it's a good line? He's like, yeah, I don't really give a fuck. So James is 100% right. I didn't make that line up. I got it from someone else, and then I said, can I use it? And he said yes. And he doesn't want to be a public person, so I never named him. So that's what it is. I had no idea she ever said it. If she ever did. There's literally video of me saying it, possibly in the clip that James has here, and it wouldn't matter anyway. I'm frequently coining credit with coining the issue is never the issue is always the revolution, even though I attributed it to David Horowitz, who got it from his time in the SDS. Frequently, I'm accused of coining woke right, which I did not do. You're right, James. I actually coined woke right back in 2021. This angry cow. I'm not sure I'm the one that's actually angry in this circumstance, Jimmy. You're posting some great clips of me. This angry cow thinks anyone who says the same thing as anyone else is plagiarizing. Well, yep, that's what plagiarizing is, James. When it's her irrelevant ass in question. If I'm so irrelevant, then why is he talking about me all the time? Because everyone knows she's crazy after a flash in the pan in 2020 when she exposed Coca-Cola and her audience is shrinking steadily as a result. James, I've actually never had more supporters than I do right now, but I'm really thankful that you are so concerned about the size of my audience, bro. But in reality, I've never had as many people supporting my work, either just in terms of like numerical people or in terms of how strongly people are supporting my work as I do now. If I was irrelevant and my audience was shrinking and none of this meant anything, then your entire fucking timeline wouldn't be about me, James. I got news for you. If I was really so irrelevant and you really didn't care, you wouldn't be tweeting about me every fucking day. You wouldn't be trying to get me banned off the internet. You wouldn't be doing any of the, you wouldn't be spreading smear campaign after smear campaign after smear campaign. If I was really so irrelevant, James, this conversation wouldn't be happening right now. So keep crying, bitch. Keep crying. Because, James, you want to know the truth of it? I've exposed more grooming than you have, asshole. I've taught more people about the left than you have, asshole. Last night, I taught thousands of people what the left is planning to do to oppose mass deportations in the era of Trump. Well, I was teaching thousands of people about what the left is actively planning right now to fight back against what Trump is doing. James was tweeting and complaining about me and tweeting and complaining about the woke right. James may have a bigger platform than me. That's absolutely true. But I teach more people than James does about what the left is doing because unlike him, I actually fucking teach. Most obviously, my stalker wants people to believe and wants to believe and be pissed off about the idea that I steal from her. Well, it's not just me, James. You steal from other people too. I don't. Yes, you do. I don't even care about her. This is the third tweet in a thread that James has posted with clips of me, and you want me to believe that he doesn't care about me? Okay? And I go out of my way to avoid her as much as possible and have done for a long time. I only use material I actually see. I intentionally do not consume her content at all, except for things friends send me to warn me about how psychotic she is. What? Oh, they clipped it again. Excuse me, what? They clipped it again. I steal from people all the time. I've got the real clip on this one. I'm as bad as Claudine Gay is what he's about to say. Oops, James. Oops. Sometimes doing an extemporaneous speech where you don't script it beforehand leads you to saying the quiet part out loud. What was that? What was that? What, James?
Podcast is getting downloaded 10 million times because I thought it was profound. So you don't know where your message is going to get and where it's not going to get. I steal from people all the time. I'm as bad as Claudine Gay. I'm just kidding. I always give credit where I can. I always give credit where I can. Well, first of all, James, when I take someone's ideas, I always give them credit. It is not hard to give someone credit. I give people credit 100% of the time when I take from someone else. There is nothing that prevents you from saying, I got this idea from so-and-so, or you should check out so-and-so. The only reason you don't do that, James, is when the person that you're referencing, which is me, not an insignificant amount of the time, and we both fucking know it, is when it is inconvenient for your audience to listen to me. Because if they listen to me, they see through your bullshit rather quickly. Yep. W clip.
Another W clip for me. James is fucking losing it, man. Is James even looking at these clips before he actually posts them? I don't care if people see this. And then he's got some Mormon thing there. All right, let's keep going. I think that's all the clips. Oh, wait, no, there's more. Holy shit. Oh, that was out of a larger thread. There are more fucking clips. It's not just that my deranged stalker has been making videos like this for a year. Well, a year and a half more aptly, telling her followers to engage in coordinated, strategic, targeted harassment. It's that she's been reported for it many times, and nothing ever happens. Is she protected? So again, James is trying to advance the argument that the reason that he can't get me banned off of YouTube and Twitter is that I'm a Fed and I have some sort of secret protection. Yeah, I don't think James understands how this works. He's supposed to post things that make me look bad, and instead he posts things that make me look awesome, and me telling the truth. Like, this is like best case scenario. Let's see, what did he post here? His audience will wake up to your good and accurate teaching. I appreciate that. So guys, the war on James is going to continue. True. And again, this is not just going to be
going
me.
on.
Everyone who is sick of James's shit, I need you to make sure you have at least one Twitter account that is not blocked by James. If James has recently blocked your Twitter account, make sure you start a new one. Just go to like Proton Mail, get a burner email address, create a new Twitter account out of it. I know it's a little bit of a pain in the ass, but it's worth it. Make sure you have a YouTube account that is not blocked on the New Discourses YouTube channel. Make sure you are subscribed to the New Discourses YouTube channel, because one of the things that if you don't subscribe now, James can put a time limit on how long you have to be subscribed in order to interact and chat on his YouTube channel. So everyone, make sure you have your burner accounts ready. And don't use them willy-nilly. Don't just use them to poke at James, because James is now on a blocking spree. So we all have to coordinate this. All have your burner accounts ready on Twitter, on YouTube. Those are the main places we need them. And we're going to be waiting for our opportunity. Yeah, so James is posting clips of me acting like a leader. Okay, Jimmy. Some of the targeted harassment campaigns she coordinates and engages in are pretty weird and disgusting, as you can see here. The pretense that this is educational and not her making is a ridiculous cover for this blatant TOS violation that goes nowhere. Twitter safety. Why? Why don't you just ban this bitch, Twitter? Why don't you just ban her? Why can't you just ban her? Why can't you just shut her up? Why can't you just ban? I'm not. I forgot about that. All right, let's watch. Okay, let's watch. All right. I'm not sure I can show you guys the thing that Mizakan just posted on Twitter. I'm not sure I can show you this, but I want to try to show you this. I'm not. Oh my God. I disavow this. I said I disavowed it.
I didn't make this.
I didn't make it.
I didn't make this. Mizakan made it. I didn't make this. I'm just putting the link to it in the chat. I did not make this. There's so much depth to this. There's so much going on here. Where do we even begin? I mean, look, what I really appreciate is that right under James' crotch, right next to Emmy O'Brien and Judith Butler, we have the #1 goal of queer Marxism is abolishing social reproduction of capitalism within the nuclear family. That's actually completely correct. So that's a really good piece of education that I think is important. We've got up here. We've got Drag Queen Story Hour is about teaching kids that gender is performative and fluid, and that one can change their gender like changing an outfit. Yeah, that's right.
When kids eventually learn about the gender spectrum and doubt their own identities, maybe they'll remember how fun and glitzy it was to be gender nonconforming, and perhaps they'll switch to non-binary. I think it's a really good way to put it. Queer Marxism is about abolishing the gender binary and the nuclear family by ways of destabilizing the normative values that define both heteronormativity and homonormativity, both of which uphold the nuclear family. I mean, that's pretty dead on. Non-binary identities sets the stage for alternative modes of kinship and chosen families, which are anti-capitalist in nature. I think this is I think this is just like I think this is a really excellent educational tool that Mizakan has created for us. Very creatively. I mean, there's just so much good information on this. I really think that probably, I mean, these are really important things that everyone needs to know. And I think that maybe people should just make sure they're sharing this information with as many people as possible, because I just think that all these things are really important for like average normies to understand about the situation. And, you know, I really just want to, I mean, creative might be an understatement. You're right about that. Creative might be an understatement. How the fuck did I keep a straight face for that long? You know what? You're right. He even gave James socialist tattoos. I think Mizakan, that was just an excellent. That was inspiration on your part to make sure that James has socialist tattoos. Socialist tattoos are a very specific type of tattoo that socialists get. It's called ignorant tattoo style. It's to identify them as queer. W me for keeping a straight face for the vast majority of that monologue. W Mizakan for a meme that obviously got underneath James's skin. W James for posting this amazing clip. James is so bothered by this meme that he's posting out a clip to all W all around James. I'm not upset about this. What else? Okay, we already watched that one. We already watched that one. Okay, that's it. That's all the clips. All right, let's keep going back to James's timeline. All right. Continuing up James's timeline. This is James. Okay, so now James keeps tagging YouTube to try to get them to ban my channel. So you can see here, James got a response from YouTube, and he is pissed off because YouTube is like, did you report the streams? They'll work their way through our process. And James is like, bullshit. It's been months. Are you protecting her account? James literally thinks I'm a fed that YouTube is protecting. All right. He posted more clips of me. Scrolling up his timeline. Oh, then James posted an entire fucking thread about cluster B personality disorders. Let's see if we can find the beginning of it. Hang on. Obviously, this was directed at me. Okay, let's see if we can find the beginning of this thread. Oh, come on. Scroll up. Okay, so James wrote a whole thread about me because he thinks I have a cluster B personality disorder, even though James is in no way qualified to diagnose people with a cluster B personality disorder. James has also had like 2 5-minute conversations with me in his entire life off the internet, so he's certainly not in a position to diagnose that. But like, let's see what he said. We all hear a lot about cluster B personality disorders these days, and there's very likely a simple reason for why. Social media facilitates their amplification. There is almost no playground better than these destructive disorders than social media, and the consequences are huge. Cluster B personality disorders are the particularly nasty ones: histrionic, narcissistic, antisocial, and borderline. They are stable psychological deformations, at least by the time adulthood is reached, and they cause disruption and destruction everywhere they go. James thinks I'm a communist of some sort, apparently, based on what he's posted before. Some years ago, Jordan Peterson gave a controversial interview in which he explained that male violence, physical, doesn't upload to the internet, but female violence, social, does upload fluidly and easily. He did so in an attempt to explain the toxic femininity of woke. Well, James certainly knows something about female violence, that's for sure. There are other explanations for toxic femininity of woke, but Jordan was hitting on something important with that claim, the toxic femininity caused by feminists, most of whom were cluster B personalities hiding behind feminism, uploads, and is socially contagious. Feminism, for what it's worth, is I don't care what James has to say about feminism. I think we predominantly have to keep talking about cluster B personality disorders today, so much not only because they're part of our everyday experience, since they significantly contribute to or even dominate our political discussions online, but also because they're contagious. They're actually not, James. That's not how they work. The contagion of cluster B disorders is usually called the cycle of abuse. People who are abuse targets of cluster B disordered individuals frequently join cults around said individuals and adapt. Okay, what James is writing here applies to everyone in my audience. James thinks that you all have been abused by a horrible cluster B personality disordered individual, me, and that you've all joined my cult because you've acclimated to the abuse. The contagion of cluster B personality disorders is usually the cycle of abuse. The people who are abuse targets of cluster B disordered individuals frequently A, join cults around said individuals, and B, adapt to the abuse by replicating it outwardly to others. Reagan, he's talking about you here. You understand that, right? He specifically you. Not only are you all abused, but you all are now replicating my disorder out onto James by saying things that he doesn't like. In a rather strange book called Political Penology, I don't know, I'm not going to pronounce that, discusses the problem, blah, da, 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 da. I'm not going to read any of that. I don't really care. Something about Obama. We have to figure out how to reckon with the fact that online discourse, thus much political, is susceptible to both of these problems, the high enablement of functional psychopathy, of cluster B, and other psychopathologies, and hostile agitation to inflame it. As a reminder, James Lindsay is a mathematician turned massage therapist. James has zero training at all in mental health, in psychology, in psychiatry, in cluster B personality disorders. He has literally zero training, literally zero credentials. He's just making all this shit up. He's diagnosing people publicly on the internet all the time, which tells you that he isn't actually qualified to diagnose people, by the way. Okay, that's not as exciting as I thought it was going to be. But yeah, James wrote a whole thread about that. Let's see. Let's go back. Twitter. All right. He continues. So this is one of James's supporters tweeting at Team YouTube about me. So you're telling us this person can promote harassment and tell her followers to go raid another YouTube channel to harass them, and that doesn't violate your rules? So at this point, I think it would be beneficial for us to look at what James and his followers don't like. So here is an example of what James believes is raiding a YouTube channel in order to harass him, okay? These are the screenshots from when we took over Deb Philman's chat to ask James questions he didn't like. Now, when we do this, I emphasize that I don't want spamming. I don't want people to be, disruptive. All we do is we go into people's chats when they have James on, sometimes, not even that often, quite frankly, and we ask questions in the chat that James doesn't want to answer. So let me show you the questions, because we have a list of 26 of them in this thread, that not only did James refuse to answer these questions, but the moderators actually banned anyone from the chat who was asking these questions, and we got the whole thing on video, which of course was the point. We want to show people that when James is asked questions, very direct, simple questions about communism, he cannot answer them. he refuses to answer them. That's part of the point of all of this. James is a snake oil salesman. He's been doing this for years, just making stuff up that is completely unhinged from reality. And then when he is asked very basic questions about communism, he literally refuses to answer them. So let me show you the questions that James refused to answer, and we have screenshots of all of this. Question 1. And by the way, all of this was relevant to what James was talking about too. So we weren't asking questions that were irrelevant. We were asking him questions directly related to what he was saying on the stream. Question 1, why do you think revolutionary socialists in the United States denounce Mao? Question 2, do you think this has anything to do with queer Marxists wanting to abolish the gender binary? Question 3, did you just ban someone for asking if socialists want to abolish capitalism? Question 4, what specifically are communists trying to achieve by elevating class consciousness? Question 5, I am still confused about what you mean by class consciousness. Could you explain what that means? Question 6, I saw a video that said communists believe the Constitution upholds capitalism. Is that true? Question 7, do you still think queer theory is a Gnostic cult? Question 8 and 9, what is queer theory? Does it relate to the gender binary? Question 10, have you ever read what the Mary Nardini gang said about queer? Question 11, what does normativity mean? Question 12, how is queer defined? Question 13, what does queer liberation mean? Question 14 and 15, does normativity have an underlying cause that perpetuates it? Where does it stem from? Can you explain what normativity means? Question 16, what does normativity uphold? Question 17, what is the reasoning, the goal, the end game behind all of this? What are the Marxists in education aiming to accomplish in the end? Question 18, does queer liberation lead to the annihilation of capitalism? Question 19, do socialists really disavow Mao? Question 20, doesn't individualism and meritocracy uphold capitalism? Question 21, so they only care about culture and society and not about economic systems at all? Question 22, what is the end goal of raising class consciousness through socialization? Question 23, is Drag Queen Story Hour about abolishing the gender binary? Question 24, why are the mods deleting so many questions? I thought classical liberalism was about debating ideas. Question 25, what did they mean when they called Larry Elder the blackface of white supremacy? Question 26, what is the system in systemic racism? And then we ended with the greatest ending of all time, when Deb accidentally displayed Judy saying, Carlin is a much better teacher than James. Follow Carlin if you really want to learn. She is the reason I learn. We didn't raid Deb's chat. We didn't spam Deb's chat. All we did was ask James questions about communism that he refused to answer because they were inconvenient to the narrative that he was trying to sell. That's it. We weren't rude. We weren't disrespectful. We were not argumentative. We occupied that fucking chat. We did. We stood on business. We wanted James to answer questions about communism. James refused to answer questions about communism. And now James is trying to get me banned off of YouTube, saying that I am promoting harassment when my audience goes into another chat to ask James very, very, very simple questions that he should be able to answer, but he can't answer because he knows that if he does answer those questions honestly, it is going to completely debunk the narrative that he is trying to sell the public. This is why James doesn't like freedom of speech questions. He silences questions from those that want First Amendment speech rights. Sorry, James. Too bad, so sad. Sorry. Continuing to scroll up. They're tweeting about cluster B personality disorders. This is James again retweeting the psychotic 500-pound whale that's obsessed with me. Let's see. Oh, Reagan, here you go. Here you go. James's audience is retweeting James's thread. It's pretty weird that she was at January 6th and never prosecuted. Well, not really. I didn't go in the building. Why does she have so many layers of protection? Can someone from the government please send me a check for the thousands of dollars that I had to spend on a lawyer? When I got in, like, if I have government protection, can someone please refund the money that I had to spend on the lawyer when I got interviewed by the feds? Yeah, they have like 2 things they can do. That's it. All they do is smear. All they do is smear. Let's see. Is there anything else? I mostly just wanted to watch those clips, honestly. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So check this out. So I tweeted on just one stream, we asked James Lindsay 26 questions that were completely relevant to the discussion and completely anti-communist in nature. He couldn't answer them. That's why he's trying to get my account banned, and I tagged Team YouTube in it. We document everything. That's the same thread we just walked you guys through. I tweeted that, so James's 500-pound fucking girlfriend tweets, Team YouTube, you said you were listening. You don't even have to you don't even have to listen to the people complaining about what she's doing. She's literally tagging you and bragging about it. Yes. Yeah. I absolutely documented that all we did was to ask James questions about communism that James didn't want to answer. Yeah. I absolutely did that. I did. And then James retweeted that too. James might seriously have a psychotic break. He seems different. Yeah, James used to be great back in like 2020. James was awesome back in 2020. And now James sucks. Now he sucks. Let's see. Moving up. Did he tweet? Oh, here it is again. I don't know who this person is. I have no idea who this person is. This is insane. Activists are setting up burner accounts to engage in cancel culture and harassment. My personal experience with account suspension and a flawed appeal process at X suggests it's working. And James says, it's batshit insane. It is so insane that people have sock accounts, guys. Oh my God. The sock accounts are terrifying. James, are the sock accounts in the room with you right now? Are the sock accounts surrounding you, James? Are they in the room with you right now? Dragon Balls! If James Lindsay is going to accuse us of replicating your cultish tactics, then how does he answer for his own attack dogs like Frank and Jill and all the other guys? That's a really good question, Dragon Balls. I appreciate you being a member of the channel. I think he's on someone's payroll. It's the only thing that explains his lunacy. Yeah, I think that's probably true, but, you know. I'm enjoying the meltdown regardless. Let's see, he's talking about Aaron McIntyre, who's also an asshole, who we don't like. Because he's intellectually dishonest as well. Let's see, anything else? Anything else? Anything else? James complaining about everyone and their mothers. Everyone is wrong and James is right on every possible topic. We're just scrolling through his feed. All right, now we're at the top of his feed. Now I need to reload this because it's entirely possible that James has tweeted about me again while we've been live. Because I have been live for almost an hour and a half. I got to end soon because I got to do my newsletter. Okay, we're in the replies. You always look at things in the replies so you can see what people are saying in their replies. Let's just... Oh, Carrie! Carrie's in! Carrie's in! Carrie's in, guys! Carrie's in. Okay, let's scroll down a little bit. Let's find where the last tweet James sent about me was. Carrie, of course, has to show up. Who is the worst account on X? James Lindsay, obviously. Oh! Patriot Misfit is not that great either. Let's see. Okay, I think... Okay, so Carrie has started tweeting about me. For those of you who don't know who Carrie is, because she's the one that's actually irrelevant, let me just, so for those who don't know who Carrie is, you can head over to my Substack, which is survivingcarriesmith.substack.com. Carrie Smith is a woman that became obsessed with me back in 2020. She started tweeting about me all the time. She is actually the origin point of all the smear campaigns. It started with this bitch. She wrote an essay on the internet about how I was her abusive mother. She constantly is involved in every conversation about me, even if it doesn't involve her at all. If you want to see every single tweet that Carrie has sent about me, at least from November of 2020 through December of 2022, when I kind of stopped updating this, you can go here because I literally documented every tweet that this bitch ever sent about me. And let me tell you what, people told me when this was all happening for years, they're like, Carlin, just ignore it. She'll go away. Just ignore it. Just don't respond to it. And so for a long time, I ignored it. And in that time that I ignored it, Carrie spread so much bullshit about me. It was unbelievable. And it basically like dug me into a massive fucking hole that I was never really able to dig out of. And so if anyone tells you to ignore bullies on the internet, guys, they don't go away. They really don't. They don't go away if you ignore them. They actually get worse. And so you can see every single thing that happened on the Substack. Surviving Carrie. We aren't even a quarter way down the page, by the way, of all the tweets she sent about me. So you can see everything there if you want evidence, if you want to know more about who this bitch is. I don't really update this anymore. I could keep updating it, but I have too much other stuff to do. But I don't really update it much anymore. But it is there in archive form because it is. Let's see what Carrie said. Let's see. Carrie responds to Team YouTube. And again, YouTube is saying, we hear you if you've already reported the content, blah, blah, blah. Carrie says, this isn't true. I know of several other creators she has targeted with brigading, and nothing has been done. If you're going to allow this kind of coordinated abuse and harassment, at least be honest about it and don't pretend it's not allowed. How'd I finally get rid of her? Well, actually, Sandy, writing this Substack, I think, was what got rid of her, because Carrie knew that I was documenting every single thing that she did and putting it all in one place. Because part of how Carrie got away with what she did is like, she was doing it in all these different places. She was doing replies about me. She was DMing about me. And so people couldn't actually look at Carrie's Twitter feed and see her harassing me. But when I put it all in one place, people were like, oh, holy shit, she was really psychotic. And I was like, I know. So when I wrote this, Carrie finally started to shut the fuck up, honestly. And so it actually really helped to do this. And if I ever need to revive it, I can. You don't have plenty of haters. I'm sorry, bro. No one knows who you are. I'm sorry. You don't have plenty of haters. I don't believe you. You don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, Carlin is right. Yeah, it is actually a real thing, and I've been through the fucking fire with this. And, yeah. Anyway, James retweeted and said, the only explanation I can come up with for this is that she has an internally guarded account, which she could maybe have if she's a confidential informant, which would at least make sense of her infiltration into the Groypers and like going on road trips with them. Oh, James knows about my road trip with Siggy, does he? James knows about my road trip with Siggy. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? Okay. So now what James is trying to do is James is again saying that, like, James, let me just be blunt here. The reason that I don't have a banned YouTube channel is because I don't actually break YouTube's terms of service. James, you need to start familiarizing yourself with internet culture a little bit more, bro. I think that James has successfully avoided getting dragged into internet culture. I was not so lucky. I wish, and I actually do mean this, I wish I had been able to avoid getting dragged into internet culture. I really tried. I had no idea about any of this stuff until like June of 2021, when I was dragged kicking and screaming into internet culture. And I've never been able to get out of it, because once you're in it, James, you're just in it. James somehow successfully avoided getting dragged into the sector as it is. For a very long time. James's what is it? Hens are coming home to roost. Something about that. Bro, again, you don't know what you're fucking talking about, okay? See, it's assholes like this. Never listen to assholes like this. They're like, wait, if you talk about your haters, you just give them attention. Yeah, and if you don't talk about it, they run around the internet trying to destroy your life. The reason you don't know that, Tommy, is you don't have a big account. And I hope you never experience this, bro, but no one should ever listen to this advice. Telling people ignore them and they'll go away is the worst advice that you can give to people on the internet. You want to know why? Because it doesn't work. Now you're getting put in a timeout because I don't ignore people I don't like. Yes, Siggy is a groper. He's not young though. He's older. I didn't go on a road trip with like a 20-year-old groper. I went on a road trip with a much older groper. So not quite as old as me, but he's older. Anyway, so James is now getting dragged into internet culture and he doesn't know how to navigate it. Listen, man, I recognize this because there was a time when I didn't know how to navigate internet culture either. I've learned a lot in the last several years. James, you're going to learn a lot too. And one of the things that you're going to learn, chicken's coming home to roost. Thank you. One of the things you're going to learn, James, is that you are a public person and I can review your public posts and I can review your fucking videos and I can comment on them in any way that I want. And you don't get approval over the things that I say, James. It is not against YouTube's terms of service for me to be showing your tweets on my channel. It is not against YouTube's terms of service for me to be showing your videos on my channel. It is not against YouTube's terms of service for people to come into a chat on a live stream that you're on and ask you questions about communism nicely and calmly and not attacking you that you don't want to answer. None of this is against YouTube's terms of service, bro. This stuff happens all the time. And quite frankly, James, I have to say, you're actually pretty lucky because I'm actually not doing nearly as much to you as I could be doing. Mostly because I want to spend most of my time on communism anyway. But I could be doing way worse things to you, James. Ask Nick Rekieta. Why don't you go and have a chat with Nick Rekieta? And you ask him how bad this can get. You ask him how far people go. Because Nick Rekieta has some experience with this. He's been on the receiving end of it for a long-ass time, too. You can go ask... Why don't you go ask Dave Rubin, James? Why don't you go ask him? He's gotten dragged through this. You could go ask almost anyone on the internet with a significant following if they've had experience with this. Many of them have. Welcome to the internet, boy. Welcome to the internet. It's not my fault this is your first dalliance, but I'm not breaking terms of service. Saying words you don't like, giving you a narcissistic break, triggering you so badly that you melt down all over the internet almost every single fucking day about me. And James is getting real close. Here's the thing. James has now tried several smear campaigns against me. Here's the things that James has tried. She's crazy. She has a borderline personality disorder, cluster B personality disorder. She's fat. She's a fed. She's what else did he say about me? Shit. I have a list. What did James say about me? She's crazy. She has a literal personality disorder. Oh, yeah, she totally wants to fuck me. She's fat. She's violating terms of service and should be banned. She's a fed. James is trying many ways to smear me. Oh, yeah, that's right. He did call me a groomer. Shit, I forgot about that. He called me a groomer. Yeah, he did. James said I was grooming his 28-year-old stepdaughter. James is about this close to calling me a pedophile. And the minute that James calls me a pedophile is the minute that I sue his ass for defamation and I win, and then I fucking own new discourses. So, we're getting real close. We're getting real close. The minute James crosses the line and calls me a pedophile, that's when the games really begin, Jimmy. We're getting real close. James, keep in mind that I've never been charged with anything having to do with kids. Keep in mind I've never even had a case brought against me having to do with kids. Keep in mind there's not even any evidence that I like kids. Because you're right there, James. We know what comes next. We've been down this road for a million times. Be careful, James. Be careful. Because once you call me a pedophile, James, you accuse me of a serious malicious crime. And that's not just regular defamation, bro. That's defamation per se. I know that much. So he's trying to say that I'm a confidential informant and that I'm infiltrating the Groypers and that the evidence of me infiltrating the Groypers is that I went on a road trip with Siggy. I'm going to let Siggy know about that. He's going to be really amused. Okay, has James said anything else before we go? That seems to be all. That seems to be all. All right. Well, that's all I got, guys. That is all that's going on today. So, thank you for hanging out on another update about James Lindsay's unhinged obsession with me. And, you know, if James says anything interesting, we're still going to cover it. And James can't do anything about it. And we're just going to be chilling. We're just going to be chilling. We're going to be chilling. And, yeah, I think that actually might be it. James wishes that he was on the road trip with me and that it wasn't Siggy and that it was actually, you know, but I had much more fun with Siggy, man. I think we had a good time. So anyway, yeah, James has road trip envy. Yeah, everyone wants to go on a road trip with me, I'll tell you that. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go get ready for movie night. If you want to join me for movie night in my supporter Discord, head over to the Substack, Carlin, KARLYN.substack.com. I'm going to be sending out a newsletter in the next half hour, 45 minutes or so. That newsletter will give you access to the supporter Discord. It will have access to the Zoom links that we use on Monday. Remember, we do movie nights on Sunday and on Monday. We're watching The Secret of Nymph, I guess, tonight. I think that's the name. I always forget the name of this movie. We're watching that at 8 p.m. I don't know what MacB is doing on Monday night, but I will be announcing that in the Discord. And, you know, I highly recommend people join movie nights. Definitely, especially like, okay, everyone knows that we do movie nights on Sunday with Jennifer, but I really want to encourage people, hang out with MacB on Monday nights. It starts around 9 o'clock Eastern time. MacB is doing a great job with movie selections. He's got some really cool kind of cult classics that a lot of people haven't seen, and I've been enjoying the ones I've gone to. I know other people have been enjoying them as well. I also want to remind people that we do now have the Trump Valentine's Day I Love You design in the store. So you can get it on greeting cards, you can get it on wrapping paper, you can get it on mugs and candles and all sorts of stuff. And all the designs with the Trump I Love You design are 25% off this week only, so pick up your Valentine's Day merch. This is a limited edition design that will not be in the store for very long. Oh, right, MacB's watching Escape from New York on Monday. Thank you. Great movie. Everyone should go. All right, guys. That's all I have. Keep obsessing about me, James, I guess. We will be back tomorrow, hopefully to talk about socialism and not to talk about James. And that's all I have, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. We'll see you guys soon. Have a good one. Bye.
How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you here?
That's difficult to answer.
playing the piano for people has eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital?
That's difficult to answer.